Happy New Year! Hi, welcome back to Traumama House. First video of the year.
It's been a while.
It has. I'm excited to be back.
Same.
Well, today, I feel like it's only right that we kind of reflect a little bit about last year. We had a really amazing year, a lot of mental growth.
Yeah. It was a big year, especially for you.
Yeah.
Big changes.
It was great. I turned 30.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, such a fun time. I think as I look back, I just have so many great things to reflect on. So let's start with you.
It was a good year for sure. It was the first time I traveled outside of the U.S. So last year...
You went to several countries.
Sort of. Yeah, I went to Singapore, Malaysia, but that was like one trip. And then went to Jamaica with you.
That was so
that
fun.
That was very fun. I was like, ooh, it makes me want to travel more. And that was last year was the first year you also left the country.
Yes, it was great. I feel like, and I was a little sad. I was like, wow, I can't believe this is our first time. But I was like, you know what? That's okay. Like, we spend so much of our lives, like, trying to, I don't know, survive and whatever. And it was great to finally explore and have some leisure time.
Yeah, it was meant to happen in the timing that it did.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's okay. I mean, maybe there was a reason why we never went earlier. And it just happened exactly at the time it was meant to be. So
I agree.
Yeah. What are some things that stuck out to you?
Oh my gosh.
Last year.
Last year was so amazing. I feel like you and I talk about gratitude a lot. And it's so important. But I feel like I really understood just the importance of truly being present and appreciative of life for so many reasons. Like, for one, our family, I feel like we grew a lot closer. We had a lot of tough conversations that ultimately created stronger relationship and bonds, and I really am grateful for that. And me personally, I feel like there was just a lot of mental growth, a lot of mental spiritual growth. I got to go back to my first few loves, which is like reading and writing, and that brings me so much happiness. Yeah,
I'm so happy to hear that. Definitely can tell there's been a lot of like healing, especially with like our inner child. And I think what's been so big is just even starting this podcast. I know we've been talking about it for a long time.
Yes.
So to see it come to life, it's just so amazing. And I'm like, wow. Sometimes when I'm bored, I like look at our old episodes. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy that we finally did it, even if we don't really know what we're doing. And that's kind of what life is. Like, no one really knows what they're doing. We just kind of go with the flow.
Right.
Yeah, and see where it takes us.
I agree. But I want to talk about you. What are your thoughts on last year? Anything?
It was so good. Yeah. I feel like maybe the last 2 years of my life has been like way better. Like, I always talk about how the first 24 years has been my wilderness. It's definitely been more healing to me than anything. Like, I processed a lot of inner child experiences last year. And I feel like for me specifically, I have been more intentional in like loving my inner child. I really was more intentional in healing my inner child, and it's been so liberating for me. Like, I'm all about inner child healing, and I'm still healing as well. But last year, I felt like I was set free from a lot of things and just processing new information that I received as well. So that's been good for me.
I can tell that, like, when I think back to last year, I think about your birthday and the breakthroughs you had, as you reflected on your childhood. And I thought that was powerful. I think that's a pivotal moment in your life. I think I think setting you free is the word. I think it did a lot for you.
Yeah, and even when we're not like filming, we always have like really deep conversations. And so I was telling Gwen, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like this year, like 2024, was the year I finally started making my inner child so proud. And I was like, I got emotional telling you that over the phone, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm finally being the human being that my inner child needed.
That's so amazing
of me.
I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself too.
And you guys have helped me out too. Like, I didn't know how to really speak up for myself, and so I feel like last year I really practiced using my voice more and just being more confident in who I am, and just also truthful with myself.
Yes.
And just also allowing like people to love me, and also like me loving myself. I think I felt like I didn't deserve it, or I didn't know how to receive love from people, but I feel like I'm learning, and I am also learning to set myself free by speaking my truth. So I feel like a lot of last year was me practicing and like just speaking up for me And so that was specifically what was liberating me. Because I think in the past, I didn't really know how to do that.
Yeah.
So now I am.
You should be so proud of yourself because, like, as I watch you grow, you know, we're growing independently and together. But as I see you become what you've always needed, I see you're so happy with it too. It's not like you're dreading every moment of you growing and healing. I'm like, wow, I feel like you're emerging into who you're to be. Like, this is always who you've meant to be. But,
I know. Who knew?
Girl, I'm so proud of you because when I think back to last year, I feel like I remember being your age. And I think there's something about that age where it's like, I've held this in for so long. I'm angry. Like I'm ups- and seeing you have these tough conversations and doing what you need to do, that's so hard. So many people never do it.
Yeah. Last year was also mentally challenging though. But I feel like your challenges grow you if you allow it to.
Yeah.
So like even with, you know, and I talked about this before, like me training and running for the marathon, I realized how much I love running, even though it's like you dread it a little bit because you know it's gonna challenge you and it might hurt you physically, but then it's like at the end of it you just feel so relieved and you love running outside and seeing the nature. And when I made it a habit, it felt so amazing. I'm like, I need to do that again. Like,
okay, she's the runner, I'm not the runner. Like I was telling you, I ran half a mile and I was like, this is not the life for me. But like on the way to her marathon, you know, she's reading her affirmations. You know, you're reading your affirmations. That was very powerful. Like, it's like, wow. I love seeing people in their journeys too.
And I told you, it was hard for me to believe in myself. But like, I literally had to tell myself those things. And they like also, you know, repeated after me too. Because I'm like, you need to tell yourself until you believe it. So I literally had to keep on telling myself. Because it was like, I can do anything I put my heart, mind, and soul into. And
period.
You deserve good things. And I love you so. Like, and so at the end of the marathon, it was literally, I had a moment with me and my inner child. I was like, wait, I just have to say and cry. Because like,
that was beautiful.
During the whole run, I remember just thinking, I cannot wait to just rest at the finish line and just like be with me. And so literally right after, I just went and I was alone. And like, I was just with my inner child. I'm like,
she's so proud.
I was like, I really didn't think I could do it, but I feel like that just, you know, and as much as I say, like, I don't know if I'll do another marathon again, I feel like I might.
I feel like you might too. I love it
so much. It's so challenging in a good way. Like, who knew? I never really liked running, but then the older I get, the more I learn about life, the more, like, running makes sense. But anyway, I want to talk about
the more
you.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so last year was big. And one of the things that sticks out for me for you is, like, your decision to become officially divorced. If you want to talk about that. But I'm so proud of you. You went through so much.
Thank
and
you.
Like everything that was going on, because it doesn't just affect you like physically and, you know, emotionally, but like mentally as well. Like, what did you take from that? Or like, what were your like thoughts in 2024?
Oh my gosh. You know, girl, you know me, you know I have hella thoughts. I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking. And sometimes my brain goes on overdrive. So that was one thing that I also learned was you don't always have to think. Rest is also productive. Like, you know, you ain't always gotta do all that. That's just the way I am. But oh my gosh, divorce was huge. That was also a pivotal moment of my life. And I think it's something that had to end. Like, you know, when you go into a marriage, you know, you do your vows. All of this is surrounding the words that you say and commit to one another. And I needed something just as big to break that. And the divorce was what I needed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I feel great about it. I mean, so y'all, my sisters are so amazing. They all showed up to court with me. He didn't show up, but my sisters showed up.
Yeah,
and
he was there.
I just remember thinking like, this is always what it was in our marriage. He didn't show up.
That's so sad.
But the people who love you will be there for you. And I just, when the judge was like, okay, well, he made it official, I turned back. And my sisters are in tears.
I know. We were like crying.
And I was like, wow, like I'm so loved. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for being there for me.
I told you, I will support you and stand by your side with whatever you do.
I remember you saying that. And
yeah.
When I would call you in the middle of like me, like, I don't know what to do. As I look back, I'm like, I knew what to do. I just wanted someone to tell me, I support you. And I feel you always supported me. So thank you.
Yeah.
But the divorce, it had to happen. I'm very happy that it did. I look back at that day and I was just like, wow, I look so different. Every time I look back in my life, I'm like, I look so different.
The day of the divorce?
Yeah, I was like,
really?
I was at my chunkiest.
Really?
Yeah, of my life.
You looked good. That's all I remember. She was super cute. She dressed all professional and sexy. I was like, okay, get it, girl.
I showed up in court. I remember like, I just had to get over it. But I look back and I'm like, I probably was so stressed and I didn't realize it. I keep going through things, and in hindsight, I'm like, girl, you was struggling.
I want to challenge you to be better at reaching out when you need something or like want support. I know that you are very like, you want to be really strong and you present yourself in a way where it's like you're usually there for people.
Yeah.
And that's so sweet of you, but also like we want to love you too. So when you're struggling or sometimes I know you don't know that in that moment you were like very stressed, but like remember to lean on us too, okay?
Thank you, boo. And that's such a good point. I think my first step of that is I have to indicate, I need help. I realize I don't know when I need help. I'm just so hyper independent, and I don't want to be. It's not the
trauma
flex
response, maybe.
It really is. It's not the flex that it sounds like it. I think being independent is great, but I don't want to be hyper independent. I want to be interdependent with people that love me and care about me. So yes, thank you for that challenge, girl.
And I know that one day you're gonna feel so safe that you can just fall right into your femininity and be like, yeah, you can help me with this, or you can give me that, or I feel like you will get there once you feel safe and secure with someone.
The only word I can use to describe that is like I want to melt in someone's presence, where I'm like, I'm so safe, like I just want to let loose completely.
So we wrapped it up pretty well last year with ending the year with Jamaica. And I know that like after our trip, we also had a lot of alone time too.
We haven't really seen each other.
We haven't. And so that's been kind of good because that has allowed us to just have new thoughts and just be in our solitude as well and allow God to show us whatever he wants to reveal to us. So going into 2025, like, is there anything you would like to say to yourself this year?
This is going to be a really exciting year. I think I say that for the both of us. I think what to say to myself?
Or even us.
I would say, okay, I'll say this for both of us. I feel that this year is going to be an amazing year. And I feel it like in my body. I feel it in the atmosphere. And I feel we're on a roll. And we have to keep up with the momentum of what's going on. Kind of like an avalanche, right? Where it's going and going. I don't want it to stop. We need to, we locking in. And I mean it. I feel like every year we kind of say things, like, resolutions. But I feel like this year we're like, no, we mean business. And so I want to encourage you with that as well. Like I see, you and I talk all the time. We may not have seen each other, but we talk all the time. I just want to encourage you to like lean in on yourself. Like, deep inside, God, and that there's some great plans for us. But what about you? I want to know about your thoughts.
I feel like this year, it's been so different for each of us, but I can also see a lot of growth in each of us individually. Yeah. I feel like this year is going to be a year of breakthrough. And I feel like for you, I can already tell, like, it's been so beautiful. For me, breakthrough, sometimes you break in the breakthrough. So I feel like the beginning of this year has been really tough. Like, I've been sick for the last 3 weeks, just really dizzy, but I feel like that's allowed me to be more vulnerable and, like, also real with myself. So I sat a lot in my with my solitude and just, like, being still. I feel like that's what God's been teaching me. So I think, like, in order for some changes to happen, God has been having to like reshape me in some ways.
Okay.
So then I'm just like, okay, I need to learn to let go of things. I can't be wasting my time no more. I can't be playing no more. Like, and I realized, okay, if I want change, I really need to embrace it. Yeah. And I can't be doing the same stuff I've been doing. So that means better habits. That means making the hard decisions and following through and being truthful with myself and others.
I see that for you. You were sick like what, 2 weeks ago? Y'all.
Still been sick, girl.
I'm
still taking meds.
Right. And like when she was here 2 weeks ago, I was like, what can I grab for you? She actually told me I could get like
that
you
was just last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah.
Okay, well last week she told me what I could get from the store for her. Like,
yeah, because I knew she was going. Well, I feel like
I would just get you some stuff that I don't know if you would want.
I didn't want you to get me nothing that
you wouldn't use.
Right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much. That helped me a lot.
Yeah.
She got me like Gatorade and stuff.
Girl, that stuff's little. But I was like, oh my, okay, she's letting me get her something. And like usually you're like, no, I'm fine, I don't need anything. But I'm glad you're learning to also, you need to ask for help too.
I will.
I hate that like for so long we haven't had that. So we just kind of do whatever we do. But I love that we're working on those things.
Okay. And I want to manifest adventure and
Yes.
and beautiful experiences for us
Yes.
and fun travels.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year we're gonna have fun. I want to travel the world with you this year.
We're gonna do it.
I'm excited about that. So
I don't know if y'all know, but every time we touch, this is us touching and agreeing. There's an alignment that we're doing. So every time I do it, I truly believe in it. If I don't believe in it, I'm not gonna touch and agree.
Yeah.
So you know what I
We're
mean?
gonna make it happen.
We're serious. But there's so much to talk about with last year, but more importantly, we're really looking forward to this year. We just want to thank you guys for joining in on our journey. We started off last year. We launched Traumama House, which was very exciting for us. Thank you for tuning in. You've seen our journey from our first video, which is really funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah, to
with our backgrounds. Thank you for working with us because we're like, we don't know what we're doing.
we didn't even iron it, but you know, we're doing our best. We thank you guys. We hope to grow with you. We will see you in the next video.
Have a great year.